Hey everyone, how's it going? I am so sorry I started the episode, but um, I usually mute all my Skype chats that I'm in, and I just see them when I log into Skype. But I forgot what I just joined a Skype chat, and it was not muted. So yeah, so I want to talk to you guys about a few things. So if you guys remembered about a few episodes ago, or I think a few episodes ago, I was talking about this girl in my psychology class, not psychology class, my science class. What the fuck? In my science class, and this girl was basically, using me, and like, she knew I knew all like the answers and everything. So she's like, oh, let's be partners all the time, and then with this other girl with her friend, and then they just copied off of me. So today, so there's this guy behind me who sits behind me, and usually he's with this other girl as his partner. But this time she wasn't there. I need water. This time she wasn't there, so I was like, you know what, f you guys, I'm going home, and I just went with him, and so then we did the project, or we did the lab together instead. So we did the lab together, and we finished. Actually, it was extremely funny because when I thought we weren't gonna finish as quickly just because we had four. No, we finished a lot quickly. Usually, there's like two or three groups that are ahead of us, just because the girls didn't do anything and I did everything by myself, and they couldn't think with their own heads and be like, oh, maybe I should get this to speed up the process. So we thought we were going to take a long time, but no, we were the second group out of there. The first group, just because we didn't know we could leave, and they just left, and I was like, and then my partner was like, oh, why they're leaving, and I'm like, wait, what? And I was like, let's get out of here. So we were the second one to leave. And the girls were still in there, and I was like, oh, when I said that, like, oh, we could leave, I thought the girls were gonna be like, oh, let's book it, because I thought they were done. No, they weren't done, and it was hilarious, and I loved it, every single second of it. And so yeah, so it goes to show that those girls don't know anything. It was just, we were doing like a light test today, so we had to use a spectroscope to see, like, what kind of reflected off of it, to like if a light was like red, blue, yellow with some orange in it and stuff like that. So it was good. It wasn't that difficult today, and it was kind of funny because a lot of people weren't using it correctly, just because I had my own way of using it, and for me it's a lot more reliable. And I've used spectroscope before, so I was like, why are you guys doing it like that? And I was really confused of why they were doing it a specific way. But yeah, so that happened, and I had a review, or we were reviewing last class, or Wednesday we were reviewing, like, oh, what do you know and what do you not know, and you should get ready for the test, and these are things you need to know before your test, before you could do your test, or whatever, or things you should know. We need one more DNA. So I flew past it, or like I flew through it, just so I could be like, just so I know like what kinds of things I need to know and what kinds of things I don't need to know. So, oh god, a bunch. So I was like, okay, I didn't use my head, and that's what I usually like to do when I do like a practice test and stuff like that. I want to know like what things do I know without even thinking about it. So I know and if I know it, then I know it's not a priority, because for me, I already know that so well that I don't even need to really think about it. But if there's something I don't really know off the top of my head, I circle it. This is really the most important part of this way of knowing what to study and what to not study, is if you get it back, because if you don't get it back, then you don't really know things you do know and things you don't know. But I did get mine back, so I checked it out, and I'm like, okay, so I don't really know this. Oh, I probably got confused in this. I should probably look back into this and like stuff like that. So now I know what I need to do on my test. So then, if if it was the other way around, then I had to like think really hard, and things that I might not understand, it could have been a guess, and I got it right. But things that, and then I won't learn anything from it. On the real test, or like I'll probably skim it and be like, oh no, I think I know, I pretty much know this. I got the question right. That's not gonna help me with the actual test. So for me, I like doing it that way better, just so I know. Oh, okay, I see. I do like this and do it like that. There we go. Now it's correct. And if it's not correct, check to see why it's not correct. And so on and so forth. So yeah, I got out of 100. I think I got an 85. I think, and that's just like mindlessly doing it. Jesus Christ! Oh God! Oh God! There's like if I just mindlessly, I got 85. So I know like, oh, okay, these things I need to study 100%, and if I know these, then I know I'm going to pass the test. So it wasn't that difficult. And then and something else. I had a speaker today in my sociology class. We were talking about we were talking to an ex-cop, and I was just asking him questions about the police force and all that. It was very interesting. I asked some questions that I always wanted to know and stuff like that. So it's always good to like hear from someone who you're talking about, or like where you think you know something about. Same way with like let's say you don't know a victim of a certain crime, or like you don't know someone that lives a specific lifestyle. You can't. For me, I feel like I can't just talk or say things about them generally if I don't know the people in that group. So when I talked to him, I was like, oh, okay, and he explained some stuff to us, and then we asked questions, but AKA I asked all the questions, and someone else asked like one question. Actually, no, two people asked the question, and then we were like, oh, that's okay, that's interesting. So yeah, it was really cool. I liked it a lot. Something else. We also, oh God, today was such like the worst. Okay, so I went out to eat. I went to the cafeteria to get something to eat, and I'm just like, oh, I have an hour before class. Or no. In my science class, I got out an hour and a half early. So no, 2 hours. I got 2 hours early. I got out 2 hours early, so I had 2 hours to do something. So I was like, let me go get something to eat. So I was like, oh, let me get my fries that I usually get if there's like a long span between my classes. So I went over there to get some fries, and oh my gosh, they had potato wedges. Potato wedges are the bomb diggity. I will kill for potato wedges. And I went to go get potato wedges, and they were the worst potato wedges. So they were cheaper than the normal fry. I keep saying chips, but I thought I would see myself. But yeah, I just heard. They had fries, so I was eating I usually eat the fries. So when I saw the potato wedges, because I love potato wedges, I was like, you know what? Let me get that instead, and let me try it out. So I went over to get the potato wedges. Because they were cheaper, especially, and then so I got them, and I went to the library, and I just like did some like email stuff, and then I jumped on the server really quick with everyone else. It was the worst potato wedges in my entire life, and I had multiple potato wedges. Potato wedges are usually like, let me see, how could I explain this? Sorry. I feel like potato wedges are an art. You can't have too much of like the flavoring, or like of like some sort of like flavoring on them, but you can't have too much, because then it's like overwhelming. This one had none at all. So I was like, oh, this has no flavor at all. So it wasn't the best today. So I was like, oh, okay then. And then I went out to like, or I also, uh, no. Oh, and also, when I got the potato wedges, they were so greasy, and I was like, I'm like, sorry, I was like having a heartburn. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's too much grease, and it was burnt. So not only was it greasy, but it was burnt. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, how could you fuck this up? So that's why, and then I guess that's why it cost so cheap, or cheaper than usual, than the fries, was because they were effing horrible. So I was like, oh my God. And then it was like burnt. So I was like burnt with a bunch of oil just to like, I guess, cover up the burnness. And like, it was just dry. And I was just like, all negatives. Negatives across the board. So, trying to see what else. What could be a good one? 22. Oh, Brown Street. Wait, it's like a diarrhea thing. So we got more XP, so that's good. Hopefully we get one more, and then we get down that the cure percentage by a bit. If I don't make it, I'll just get. Yeah, it's going down too much. Let's see. Which one provide the least? Yeah, that wasn't too much. There we go. Oh, thanks. Great. Okay, let's see what our percentage is this time. Ooh, even less days. It's 966 days. But we still have 3. Okay, DNA sequence complex, difficulty normal, bacteria type, or disease type, I always get that wrong, bacteria, time 966 days, cure percentage 24%, total score 21,100, so we have 3 of those. Okay. Let's see what we got as our upgrade. Our upgrade is, come on now. Let's see, try it now. Let's see this really quick in the episode. There. Okay, let's right here. Your plague can mutate. Okay, so transmissions. So now I could mutate transmissions, but it's easier to cure. I don't really want that one. Your plague can mutate abilities, easier to cure. Yeah, those aren't the best. But yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope to see you next time. My Patreon is in the description, and please support me if you have any of those chains around, so I could come late to my burrito bowl. But until next time, goodbye.